Hello friends, this video talks about the three representation of loads. Now what is a load? Load means it is a utility or a device which is helpful for a customer. For example, bulbs or any lighting devices, fans or electric motors. Then something like storage devices or batteries or inverters etc. are the appliances that a customer depend upon in its daily life. So these all appliances consume electricity. So we can categorize these all loads into three types like resistive load, inductive load and storage devices, inverters etc. comes under capacitive load category. So any load, while they consume electricity, we will have a circuit etc. right? So in order to study about any load, we should represent. We cannot draw like a battery and we cannot draw a simple fan like this, isn't it? So what we do is, instead of a physical structure of a fan, we replace this fan load. Fan load comes under an inductive load, right? This fan will be replaced with an inductor then. Or we cannot draw like a bulb in a direct circuitry. Instead, bulb comes under a resistive load category. So a battery along with a resistor. This represents the presence of a bulb. And similarly, a capacitive load can be shown like this. This can be an inverter or a battery or anything. Even this load can be run in a AC supply also. So let's continue this video with some details about this resistive load, inductive load and capacitive load. A resistive load is represented is like a resistor. This is a resistive load or a resistor, and inductive load means it is just the inductor. Capacitive load means it is just a capacitor. In general, the purpose of every three components is to control the flow of current. Control the flow of current. Okay, or to resist the flow of current. Not only the resistor, even the inductor or a capacitor will resist the flow of current, but it will resist the type of current, like a particular feature of the current will be controlled by this inductor and capacitor, which I will be describing. So talking about resistor, resistor controls the flow of current in the form of heat energy, or power loss will be happening in a resistive load. Okay, the power loss will be occurring in a resistive load. And inductive load means it controls the change in current, and that controlling is done by converting it into magnetic form, or the electric energy is converted into the magnetic form. Similarly, the capacitive load, capacitor controls the flow of static charge or the direct current, or the electric energy is converted into electrostatic form. In other words, you can say a resistor will resist the flow of any current, whether it is AC or DC. And the inductor resists AC. AC means change in current, and it allows DC current to flow through. And a capacitor will resist DC current, that is the direct current will be blocked across a capacitor, and it allows or it permits AC current to flow across a capacitor. Okay, I will have a graphical explanation for you. If there is a resistor like this and AC or DC is passing across this resistor, you can say a small amount of AC or DC will be escaping through the resistor. But in the case of inductor, if DC supply is passed through, the complete DC will be appearing over here, but overcoming its resistive component. But when an AC is supplied through it, no AC comes after it. So AC will be blocked by this inductor. And in the case of a capacitor, if an AC current is passed through, the complete AC will be appearing after this capacitor, reducing its resistive component. But when a DC current is passed through, every DC will be blocked by this capacitor. All this DC component will be stored across this capacitor as positive charges in one plate and negative charges in another plate depending upon the polarity which is hitting at the plate first. And in the case of inductor, AC component will be blocked by this and it gets stored in the inductor in the form of magnetic flux lines. That is, the electric energy is converted to magnetic form. Detailed video on inductor is given in the playlist. Please watch it on. And what about any current, AC or DC, while passing through the resistor, what happens is, it is power loss happens like heat energy. Okay. Now let's have a numerical analysis of this resistor, inductor and a capacitor. So it's very familiar that the ability of a resistor to resist the flow of current is known as resistance, and it is measured in ohms, represented as in this symbol. And the ability for an inductor to resist the flow of current is represented as inductance, and it is measured in Henry, which has the unit H. And the ability of a capacitor is termed as capacitance, measured in Farad, represented as F. Actually, the resistance, inductance and capacitance are of three different terms. We cannot add an ohm plus Henry plus Farad. Just like it's not possible to add a speed and time. We have to convert either of the two into the other section. Similarly, the Henry and Farad should be converted to ohm in order to add all the resistive terms. So, when the Henry is converted to ohm, this inductance will then be termed as inductive reactance, denoted as XL. So, inductance L is converted to XL, and a simple formula is there. XL is equal to 2 pi FL. 2 pi into frequency of the change in current. See, inductance resists the change in current, isn't it? So, frequency of AC. If an AC supply is applied across an inductor, the frequency of AC or the number of cycles per second of this AC signal is known as the frequency F, and the inductance value L. By using this formula, you can convert the inductance value to the inductive reactance value, which will have the unit ohm. Thus, you can convert the Henry unit into ohm unit. Similarly, for capacitance, you cannot add this Farad and ohms directly. So, capacitance should be converted to capacitive reactance XC. That is, the capacitance unit Farad can be converted to ohm using another formula. XC is equal to 1 by 2 pi FC. Again, F represents the frequency of the AC signal to which this capacitor is connected. So, in total, when you have the values for the resistance R and value of XL, the inductive reactance and the capacitive reactance XC, you can add them all together. Why? Because every three terms will be having the units ohm. So, for a circuit, the net resistance or the net impedance is the summation of the resistance and the XL, inductive reactance and capacitive reactance. So, let's take a problem. Find the net resistance in the circuit. The circuit has a AC supply, a resistor, an inductor and a capacitor. So, actually the exact term to find the net resistance, it is actually impedance, net impedance. Why? Because we are having an inductor and capacitor too along with this resistor. If there are only resistors, the sentence will be correct. Find the net resistance. But since we are having the other two components like an inductor and capacitor, the exact term to be replaced is impedance. Okay. So, the impedance notation is Z, and so we have to find the net impedance, and impedance is the summation of your resistance value, the XL value and the XC value, and hence the unit for impedance is ohm itself. Why? Because the units for R, XL and XC is also ohm. So, let's find out the value of R, XL and XC now. R is already given now. R is equal to 250 ohm. Now, what is XL? XL, the formula for XL is 2 pi FL. So, 2 pi, and the frequency of the AC supply is 60 Hz. 60 into L. Inductance value is 650 millihenry. Milli is given as 10 raised to negative 3. And the value comes about 244.92. Unit for XL is ohm. Now Xc is equal to 1 by 2 pi Fc. 1 divided by 2 pi into frequency of AC signal is 60, and C value, the capacitance value for the capacitor is 1.5 into 10 raised to minus 6. Value comes about 1769.28 ohms. Now these values indicates that this XL or the inductor can be replaced with a resistor of 244.92 ohms, and this capacitor can be replaced with a resistor of 1769.28 ohm. So actually this circuit can be redrawn like 3 resistors in series to the supply with the values 250, 244.92 and 1769.28. Now how to find the net resistance when 3 resistors are connected in series? We just need to add. So net impedance is equal to R plus XL plus XC, which comes about 2264.2 ohm. So this is how we calculate the net impedance in a circuit. Hope you like the session. If you like the video, please do like, share and subscribe the channel. Till we meet in the next class, this is Meenu signing off. Thank you and take care.